Oj, we are back in Studio One today for episode 64. We've had a little bit longer week off than last week. Released it early, but we're right back on schedule here Sunday, taping it up for episode 64.
Yeah, you've had a busy few days. You've been rolling up and down the highways, off to Vegas. We got to get some info on that a little bit. I want to hear some details on that trip. But yeah, it was a little odd last week doing it early. But we're back here on Sunday right now. There's a few things that we're taking care of in the world of sports since we last talked. I think we got a Game 7 in hockey coming up too.
We do. That's kind of
a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
3-0, right?
It must be fixed. It must be fixed.
I think Florida was up 3-0.
They were up 3-0.
Yeah, so that's that might get me to pay attention a little bit tonight. So yeah, and we got crowned an NBA champion.
We did.
UP All-Star game took place over the weekend, which we'll talk about a little bit. And then, of course, like you mentioned, prior to we had the great Willie Mays pass away. I mean, what are the odds he go through a couple week span or a week span and both Jerry West goes and then Willie Mays right after it. Not to mention Bill Walton a little bit before that. So
we really better be careful who we talk about on this show.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So let's we got a question on the All-Star game here. Is that where we're starting today?
Sure.
Okay. So the UP football All-Star game yesterday, and we got a question from Russ from Fulton, I believe. And he just sent it in, and we'll do this right off the bat because that'll lead us into kind of recapping the event from yesterday. It says, guys, how about the All-Star game that Branch put on? From what I've seen on social media, it looks like the kids were treated like college athletes, and Branch took the whole ordeal to the next level. Crouchy, do you have any behind-the-scenes input from this year's week game, or anyone more knowledge of the game compared to the past? I went down yesterday to the game. It was, again, great event. This time last year we were concerned because the game was being ended after a nice run, and fortunately somebody picked it up, and Dustin Branshaw. And there was a lot of, I guess, speculation on how it would transition, and I'll say this, it went off without a hitch. Everything that I heard, I talked with a lot of the coaches down there yesterday, talked with Branch, talked with people that are around, and transition has been really good.
Now you've been obviously involved in this from many different levels, really since it started, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're on the coaches committee, correct? So you've been involved with this, like I said, at every level for a long time, and nothing different this year. Went off smooth.
Yeah, obviously there's going to be some slight tweaks. Obviously Todd and Jody Goldbeck built the foundation, right? They wrote the blueprint for it, which they fine-tune year in and year out, right? Each year you learn a little bit more, try to enhance certain things, and obviously the blueprint was written, and Branch ran with it. I think it was pretty much consistent. I know there was a couple different changes. We had people around. Had guest coaches. Jake Witt was one. Nick Baumgartner was around. So we had those guys around. They did. We used to take the kids out to Baycliff Health Camp to work with the special needs kids, which is awesome. And kind of springboarding up that, Branch had set up, and they took the kids and did some help build a project with Habitat for Humanity to help a family out in Ishpeming. So things like that were fantastic. They still had the banquet. I think everything is pretty much as is. Again, there will be things that need to be tweaked and improved on, and it's like the good thing for Branch is he's not starting at square one like we did back in 08.
Right.
He has a pretty good plan, has a lot of connections with it, and I thought it was fantastic.
Well, you're filtering through some of these coaches, and a number of these guys have been involved with it before at some level, which helps too. A lot of people with experience compared to a number of years ago where this was new to pretty much everybody. So there's been guys that look at the names in the program that have been involved, and that's got to help too. And with great week for the kids, ending with the game. The game is kind of at that point is, I guess that's what the kids want, right? Get to the game day, but it wasn't exactly a fourth quarter type game this year, so that was a little disappointing, I guess. But still, all in all, it's a great week, and one more chance for those kids to play. For most of them, it's their last chance to play.
Correct.
High school football or football at any level. So.
And it was like I said, it was a good game. I mean, the talent always rises to the top, and some of the star players in the UP really performed well on the big stage. again, a lot of people around. Nick Baumgartner was around. Jake Witt, we talked with Jake, which we'll have a little snippet from him in later on in the show. But overall, I thought it was fantastic. I think the game's in good hands. Again, one of the things that people keep asking me about, well, do you think Branch will do something, is it going to be better or worse or whatever? First of all, it's not a competition between the people who ran it. It's a collaboration of everybody involved. Nobody's trying to outdo one another. I'm sure Todd Goldbeck isn't saying, oh, I wish I would have did this, and Branch is like, I got to do it. No, that's not. It's a collaboration. I know Todd was instrumental in the background helping with Branch, as well as we had this coaches committee, which I was fortunate and appreciate being asked to be on, with Jeff Olson and Mike Rudy. And then our fourth member of the committee was not there yesterday, Mr. Paul Jacobson from Negaunee.
Where was he?
He was in Lansing, being inducted into the Michigan High School Football Coaches Hall of Fame. So
they had the state game too, correct, yesterday?
They did. So Jake has been a part of this game forever, and he got inducted into the Coaches Hall of Fame this weekend. So missed seeing him, but obviously good reason to not attend the game, and congratulations to him.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into anything else, I want to hear some stories about Vegas. We got a few things that we're going to talk about during our banter, I see. But give me some Vegas stories, Crouchy.
Well,
how did it go?
It was fun. We had a great time. We were like I said, my wife and I were celebrating 25 years of wedded bliss.
Yeah. Anyway,
you find that funny, hey? Yeah. So does she. But so we decided to take a little trip out to Las Vegas. We used to go out there quite frequently, and it's been a number of years since we've been out there. So we decided to take a quick trip out there for a few days and then enjoy it. And the only thing that went wrong with the trip is we were flying out of Minneapolis. We had a 6:30 a.m. flight. We were going to be in Vegas at 8 a.m. So we had a full day there, and our flight got delayed 7 to 8 hours, which put a damper on things at the beginning of the front end of it. But as you know, I'm positive, and I always see the positives in these situations, and was not swearing or cursing or plotting people's deaths at all. But we got to Vegas.
That's a lot of IPA at the airport bar. No,
I can't do it. I can't drink in the airports, because you get on that plane and then you know where I'll be the whole time.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's...
What, so you guys go see a show?
Yeah, we got in, what night did we go? Monday night. So we got into Vegas Monday night, and we went down to the Mirage, and we saw a magician.
How was that?
It was fantastic. It was really good. His name's Slim Lin or Sim Lin or something like. He apparently won this American's Got Talent show. He's pretty well known, and my wife is familiar with him, so we got some seats there, and it was fantastic. I mean, you and I are kind of similar. You're a little skeptical of magic. Like, hey, let me pull this quarter out of your ear, but it really was worth it. I would actually probably go see him again.
Oh, good.
So that was good, and then the rest of the time we just kind of hung out. We stayed down at the Luxor. Luxor's got a really nice pool area, so we did a lot of pool time.
I suppose 100 plus degrees, correct?
It was. So we would spend a couple hours there every day, and then we kind of just putzed around. We did a little bit of gambling, not a whole lot, but.
How was the blackjack tables treat you?
They were good. Like I said, I came home with about the same amount of money I went with. So
they had $10 tables?
There was a couple times during the day, but they had automatic shufflers, and I'm not a big fan of those. Not that I'm a card counter, but.
So most of the tables are what are they?
15 to 25.
So it's tough to find $10 tables.
Yeah, and the craps tables are the same. They can't play craps at $20 a pop, and that's just, on a teacher's salary, that's not too feasible. But
as long as you're playing video poker at the sports bar, are you able to drink for free at the Luxor?
Yeah.
Did they have that little green light thing that if you're
you just get the bartender, and they're pretty good about it.
Okay.
So yeah, we would sit and just kind of hung out, ran into some people from Johannesburg, Lewiston, teacher down there, which my buddy's a football coach down there.
Oh.
So that was good. And then I found out yesterday that Coach Jeff Olson was also in Vegas at the same time, but we did not cross paths.
Really?
Yeah, we were laughing because we always talk about going there, and said we should probably touch base when we go out just for this reason. But it was good. Then like I said, we didn't do a whole lot. Went downtown. We haven't been downtown Fremont in a while, and really liked the Circa.
I was going to say the Circa.
The Circa, and I'll tell you the place we had the most fun was the D.
Yeah, and the D. The D was built by a couple of U of M grads.
They redid
from Michigan.
It used to be the Fitzgerald, and they turned it into the D for Detroit, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the old English D out there. It's a lot of, kind of Michigan theme type stuff. Probably was a hell of a place to watch the Wolverines in the national championship game, I'm guessing. But then those guys also now own the Circa, correct?
I
believe it's the
believe
same
so,
two guys,
yeah.
The brothers or whatever they are.
Because Fremont's always been a little bit downscale, I say, but those places were awesome. That Circa, how would you like to watch that? Spend the first weekend of the NCAA tournament there?
It's the biggest sports book by far in Vegas now.
Yeah,
not even
and
close.
nice. I mean, just very nice.
They have outdoor music in the streets, live music.
We were down there during the day.
Okay.
We're early to bed people, as you well know, but it was good. Like I said, we had a great time. Came home with a little bit of money, ate well, went to some good places to eat, and that was about it.
All right, good rundown. So we lost Willie Mays this week, Crouchy. What are your thoughts there when that one came down?
Well, my first thing, being the pessimistic person I am, is like, we got to quit talking about these people that are up in age, that are famous, because we're talking about their passing away much too soon. And we had Willie.
Yeah.
We talked about Willie Mays.
Paul from Boise, I think.
Yeah,
right? Brought up the question.
Yeah, we'll probably blame his death on him, but he's just one of those people that he's been around forever, right? We never got a chance to see him play, but we've heard the legend of him. Yeah. Appreciate the legend of his abilities.
And I argued with, for Babe Ruth, as far as, I think the question was who's the greatest player of all time in our minds and stuff. But you can, I had to pick a side there, and I threw some Babe Ruth stuff out there. But certainly Willie Mays, as far as the tools defensively, running the bases, and 300 lifetime hitter, over 3,000 hits, 24-time All-Star.
Is that it?
24-time All-Star. Won the World Championship in 1954. Two-time National League MVP in 54 and 65, which is kind of interesting, 11 years apart.
Yeah.
He was a Rookie of the Year, 12-time Gold Glover. God, unreal. 4 times he led the National League in home runs. 4 times he led the National League in stolen bases. Hit 4 home runs in 1 game, and that was in Milwaukee County Stadium.
It was.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, yeah. Not much else to say, and he had one hell of a catch in the World Series, which they show over and over. So I think he was 90, right?
Yeah, he was up there in age, and again, it's just sad to see the passing of these people that we kind of always idolized growing up, and they say, "Hey, kid, he's no longer with us."
Yeah, and like I said, it was just a weird week with those other guys too. But let's get some positives. I don't know if this is a positive or not, but Boston Celtics are the NBA champs. What's your thoughts there?
Well, I guess people thought that they were going to walk through the East, and when once Denver got knocked out of the playoffs, they figured they were probably going to be the favorites. I'm not. And we'll get into this later on in the questions, but congratulations to the Celtics. What's their 18th championship?
Yeah, I think they nosed ahead of the Lakers now.
Just not on board with them.
They
just not on board with them.
They were dominant. Dallas was not in their league in the finals. The thing that sucks is that we talked a little bit about the just being fired up for the finals. All that momentum is taken away with the big delay. You're sitting around for a week plus waiting for these games, and there was no drama in the series at all. I mean, the games were blowouts. Dallas won by 30 plus at their place.
Yeah, what the heck? That's what it's fixed. It's got to be fixed, right?
And Boston didn't have any issues at all in their wins. I guess the big question now, and like I said, we'll probably discuss some of this later, is where Boston ranks all-time teams. And it's a fair question because they did win 60-plus regular season games and really dominated the playoffs all the way through. I don't consider them an all-time team.
Not even close.
I think they're a damn good team, but in the recent era, I don't see they're not better than Steph, Clay, Kevin Durant, Draymond, that Golden State Warrior team that won. They won multiple championships too. So I think before we get too excited about the Celtic team, let's see if they keep things together here, which they should. I can't imagine many changes being made. They'll certainly be a favorite to win next year. If they can do something like that, then you can start talking a little bit about where they rank as far as all-time teams. But I think you got to pump the brakes a little bit if we're going to start throwing them into that level of discussion. So at this point.
if they win it next year, I will sit on this podcast and I will congratulate them and say they are moving into being all-time great. I just don't see it. I don't think they would have came out of the West. I don't think the battle. I mean, they had the easiest path to the finals of any team in the history of the NBA. Correct me if I'm
with
wrong.
all the injuries.
And that wasn't their fault, right? You got to play the games that you're scheduled, but I just don't think that they were. I'm not going to put them up there. And again, prove me wrong, right? I'm sure all the Celtics fans out there. I'm sure the players are listening to this podcast. Prove us wrong.
Well, speaking of the NBA, I don't know where we want to go first with this, but the coaching, hiring and firings of the week, pretty interesting. Let's start with our Pistons.
What in the world is going on there?
Our state's team, the Detroit Pistons.
Are we paying the salaries? Is this coming from tax dollars by any chance? Because, boy, they wasted a lot of money.
You tell me Monty Williams right now is not relaxing in his basement anywhere knowing he's got that $64 million buyout.
That's ridiculous. It's absurd.
Not to mention what he got from Phoenix the year before. It was a hell of a buyout when Phoenix got rid of him.
Yeah.
Like I think he's sitting close to $100 million from both of these teams.
And not working.
Yeah, and not working. So, I mean, all I can say about Detroit, they have no identity, they have no culture, and really just no clue.
They're a laughing stock right now. They are an absolute laughing stock.
I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. Now they got Trajan Langdon in there, who's
the Alaskan assassin. Remember him?
Yes, good call. He's the guy in charge now, the GM making the call. He's going to be, along with whoever they hire as head coach, trying to organize this team and develop a team. But I don't have much else to say. You fire a guy like that, probably not the best setup for Monty Williams to begin with. He's a coach that has been in Phoenix coaching for, they were NBA title type team for year after year.
Right.
And then he goes into this rebuild in Detroit and it was an absolute mess. So, like I said, there's no identity over there right now. And
I just, fill me in here, Oj. I don't understand this. So, Pistons were horrible last year. And they bring in Monty, which, right, looks like a great move.
Yep.
The guy is a pretty good coach in my opinion. And you have a horrible roster, and you are fighting to develop, like you said, an identity. And they were terrible again this year, which everybody kind of expected. And then you fire the guy. What is, like, who are you getting?
yeah, and
Is Red Auerbach walking through the door here or something? Chuck Daly coming back? I mean, who do you think you're going to get?
yeah, I don't know where Trajan Langdon's ties are to any of these potential hires, but I'm sure it's going to be some assistant, maybe somebody with a little experience coaching, which is unlike what the LA Lakers just did.
Yeah, but you're still paying that money. Who are you bringing in? I mean, you can't just print money.
I don't know who you're bringing in. But it's not J.J. Redick because the Lakers just brought him in, and I think that's going to be an absolute failure also. How do you bring in a guy that has never coached to deal with organizing a roster that LeBron James, who goes through coaches pretty fast, by the way. So you're bringing J.J. in there, and he must be good buddies with LeBron. I don't know.
They do a podcast together, The Old Man and the Three.
They do?
Yeah. So let's be honest, though. You and I have coached more basketball than J.J. Redick, and we're podcasters.
I just can't believe it.
I cannot believe they haven't called you.
Who said they hadn't? I was offered less than Danny Hurley.
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
They gave you a bag of peanuts and a 18-pack of Miller Lite, and you said yes.
They went light on his offer, and you should have seen what mine was.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to be honest. I like JJ. Actually, I like Trajan Langdon. Those are two guys that I always appreciated their game, like because they could shoot the ball.
You're a dookie.
No, I'm not a dookie, but I appreciate.
Apparently you are. You just mentioned you like two of those great Duke shooters. Shire, you like him too?
No, I don't. No, but those guys are good guys that were fun to watch. All I hear is that JJ. No.
Slapping the floor in his defensive stance.
He would have gotten. I would have got called for an intentional foul on him when he went up for a layup. But anyway. They do talk about J.J. Redick's basketball IQ, and not everybody thinks it's going to be a complete flop. But again, come back in a year, and if you prove me wrong, J.J., if he's listening to the podcast, prove me wrong. But
basketball IQ is one thing, but there's a little more that goes into it. So
well, and like you said, the whole LeBron thing. I mean,
he's got to build a staff, right? Obviously, that's going to be his next thing. But
and then who do they have to draft?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
because LeBron has the opt-out.
Kid Dynamite there.
Yeah, so LeBron can opt out. So if they don't draft, what is his name, Bronny, he can go somewhere else. So now you bring in J.J. Redick, who's LeBron's buddy, and LeBron might opt out. He might be playing for the Bucks. Should tell the Bucks to draft him. Draft Bronny.
No, thank you. We don't need that drama in Milwaukee. We got enough issues.
You don't think Doc Rivers could get her going?
We got Darvin Ham, the ex-Laker coach, now an assistant with the Bucks, back in Milwaukee.
That's probably good.
Yeah, I think
Again, he's another one that didn't really get a fair shake, in my opinion.
A little bit of baseball before we move on here. I want to run through a couple things with you. The standings. This is obviously we're in June, so it's not crucial, but I think it's good to run through this a little bit. July 30th or 31st, whatever it is, trade deadline will be looming here. Yankees have a 1.5 lead in the East over Baltimore, 52 wins. Seem to be the best team in baseball. Baltimore right behind them. Cleveland, 7.5 game lead in the Central. Tigers have been really slipping here of late. They were in 500 last time we talked, and they're now 6 games under.
Well, they got a series with the White Sox though, so that should
and they got just pounded the other day.
They'll come back.
Seattle leading the West, 45-34, 7 game lead. Houston's a surprise there. They're 3 games under 500.
They've been a big disappointment this year.
And Texas is
maybe
below 500
they don't
also.
know what pitches the pitchers are throwing now.
Philly leads the East, 50-26.
They have been on a slide.
7 game lead over the Braves, your Braves. The Central Brewers like I said, they just lost 3 in a row. They got a 5 game lead over St. Louis Cardinals. But being 5 up is better than 5 down.
For sure.
So hopefully they can get a win today to avoid that sweep. And then the Dodgers, 48-31, lead the National League West. So that's where we're at baseball-wise. I've been paying much attention as I can. Listening to a lot of the Brewer games, so we'll see what today brings for them.
Heck yeah. Yeah, like I said, I've noticed that the Phillies have really hit the skids here lately too. Because I think last time we talked about baseball, we were talking about what a tear they've been on, but they have been sliding. So we'll see.
All right, Copper Country Sauna is the premier sauna builder in the Keweenaw. Led by 2 brother-in-laws that share a passion for saunas and want to provide custom saunas to the Copper Country residents. When you are ready to throw some water on the rocks, visit our website at coppercountrysauna.com or give us a call at 906-281-9427. There we go.
You've been taking saunas lately?
Twice this week. We had it going last night, but we kind of got rained and winded out. It was really ripping by the time we were going in. So.
All right, Crouchy's Corner today. We've got just a short little clip. Like we said, we talked about the All-Star game already, so I was able to catch up with Jake Witt, who spent the whole week there. Always great to see him. Just to get a little update on his status and then kind of share his thoughts about the All-Star week. So let's hear a short clip from Jake Witt. Oj, do you need a lawyer?
Do I need a lawyer?
Do you need a lawyer?
Well, at some point I'm guessing I will, but I don't need one today.
Like for what? Like a defense?
Yeah, what the heck? Everybody needs a lawyer at some point in their lives, don't you?
I don't know. You gonna keep them on retainer?
It's always good to know some people like that, and apparently we now do.
Well, we are gonna welcome our newest sponsor to SS3TP, and it is Mao and Solello, PC attorneys and counsels.
Say that again.
Mao and Solello.
Mao and Solello.
Yep, out of Iron Mountain. Mike Solello is one of the partners there. I got to know him a little bit, and he's a big fan of our podcast. So, I talked to him last week on some of my excursions around the country, and his law firm wants to get on board with us.
I knew at some point we'd be getting to this point, with our podcast, right? It was only a matter of time before we had a law firm on board.
Yeah, so very cool. We're
glad. Maybe they can defend us when we get in trouble with all these songs that we're...
No, don't even bring it up. Don't say it. Siri's listening. At Mao and Solello PC, our dedicated team of lawyers serves clients in various areas of law: personal injury, family law, criminal defense, and business and real estate law. We offer exceptional legal representation and strive for our clients' most favorable outcomes. Contact us for a consultation at 906-774-2480. So yeah, really happy to welcome real good guys, and always love to see our podcasts extend out to other parts of the UP and Iron Mountain.
Good thing Mao and Solello aren't 2 brothers-in-laws.
You've been doing a good job with that one.
Really focusing on it.
Yeah, you got your A game going here.
First few weeks were rough with that one.
All right, let's hit the mailbag today, Oj. We got an onslaught of things to talk about. Apparently, somebody woke up Dirty Eddie.
We're getting him now or later.
Let's get to him now. Let's start off here. We got Leroy Puskinen from Cal.
Oh, the big puss.
I like to call him Leroy. What is?
I am watching
Sopranos.
Sopranos right now, so there you go.
With that language in the FCC, we might need a law firm.
That was his nickname. Not Leroy, but The Sopranos.
I thought he was the baddest man in the whole damn town.
What does Leroy got to say?
All right, he goes, happy summer vacation to you too. Question 1. Good question here. Why did Cal and LLH stop playing football? I've heard many BS stories over the years, but never from anyone with first-hand knowledge. Oj, do you have first-hand knowledge? Because it's actually, when this thing went down, you and I weren't in the picture.
No, I was going to say, I don't have any first-hand knowledge. I was not here, so...
Nor was I. I know there's some of the stories.
I never even really cared. To be honest with you, I mean, when I came to Calumet, Lakes wasn't on the schedule, and that was the way it was. And we've never been on the schedule, or they've never been on the schedule.
Yeah, and they stopped playing about, I think 94 was the last year, 94, 95. Obviously, the people involved in that decision are no longer parts of the decision, and we've had a pretty good run and relationship since then.
Yeah, that's all you got on it?
All I got is the same stories that you've heard, which are probably the same ones that Leroy heard. So
Lake's numbers were down at that point, right?
Well, Cal numbers were up, and Lake's numbers were the same as they've always been. And again, when you start.
Well, plus the other thing, it was the playoffs started changing, correct? It
Yeah.
made a little less sense on both sides, I think.
Well, it didn't. Football's such a unique game that you can't. The numbers are such a big factor, right? If you have 50 guys and we have 15 guys, the 15 guys are going to come out on the short end. It's like the same thing in hockey. If you have one really good line and the other team has 3 decent lines, you're going to lose, right? I mean, so. But we've had a pretty good relationship since then, and that's all we got. I said, I guess we'd have to talk to the people that were involved in that decision.
Well, what else we got from the big pusk?
That way. Good save right there. Question 2. He's got another good question for you today. I know you've touched on it before, but why wouldn't you want to see UP kids compete against the best in the state for track and field? We have state championships in every other sport to my knowledge, so why not in track and field? The regionals could be held at Kingsford to keep that a big-time event, and the winners could advance to the state meet. I would love to see the Matt Wises and Clayton Sains of the UP compete at the state meet. Keep up the good work, Leroy Puskinen from Cal.
Yeah, the Clayton Sains and the Matt Wises could have competed at the state level. I don't know how realistic that is for just the general UP champions. I mean, where would our top 3 girls in the 100-meter dash finish in the state meet? I mean, I don't have the answer. Right?
I mean, you can find all this, but I'm gonna take a little different approach. Yeah, it is not a state championship for either side, but whatever. It's a great event. Oj, you're a senior at Ewan Trail Creek, and you qualify in the 100-meter dash, and that is held in Pontiac, Michigan. I'm making it up, right? Because that's what they do. You are going to travel from Ewan Trail Creek to Pontiac to run for less than 12 seconds.
And that's the thing. So it's not like your school's going down there.
No.
The transportation, correct?
The travel for it, much like all the other sports, except track is such an individual. It's an individual team sport that, I mean, you might be taking 2 kids from Ewan or Lake London to travel to Grand Rapids for one event.
One bus takes all the UP kids down there.
So
yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It's the travel makes it difficult. I mean, I like his thought on the regionals being at Kingsford to advance, but the reality of it, I think just logistic-wise, it's tough.
It is. I think the distance, the size of the state it doesn't make. I think what they're doing is the best situation. And again, great question. It should be addressed, but I'm good with the way it is.
Now, do our bowling teams compete at the state level? Did the regional champion bowling team from the UP advance to bowl downstate?
I have got to be honest. I don't know. I have no idea.
I heard the championships
Oh.
were at Gaylord Lanes this year.
Speaking of individual team sports, as you are well aware, that we were once part of the gymnastics world,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Well, and I forget what year it was.
That's not what you called it back then.
It
but
was
anyway.
no, it's a cult. It was a cult. It still is a cult. I'm glad my daughter participated in it. It was she was fantastic at it. But you know what's going on this week in the world of gymnastics?
No.
The national championships.
Okay.
Remember that years ago we had to go to
Yep.
Orlando for
Yeah,
it?
I do.
Well, as we were boarding our flight in Minneapolis, we were joined by 40 11 to 13-year-old girls who were traveling from Las Vegas to Minneapolis for the national championships.
Well, I wish them all the best of luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving on from the big pusk. Oh, Ra from White Pine.
She's a new question asker.
First time question asker.
It's not even a question. Oh, what the heck?
She's asking that we comment on something, I guess, here. Since
Oh.
you guys love football so much, SS3TP cannot not talk about Bill Belichick dating a 24-year-old. Oh, what does WTF stand for?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Gross, she says. Wow. Well,
So Bill Belichick's got a little 24-year-old girlfriend. I bet you she's got a nice personality.
now I want to know, like, get some info on this chick.
No.
You know,
I'm not searching 24-year-old dating Bill Belichick.
why not?
I have filters. I'm not doing that on my computer.
I'm going to do it right now as you read the next question.
Okay. Yeah, I got nothing on that. Hey.
Well, more power to him. Why does that bother her?
And
Does it bother her more from the Belichick side or the girl side? Is she more disappointed in the girl or is she more disappointed in Belichick?
Maybe they just connect emotionally and anyway. We got Matt from Mohawk while Oj is digging up, looking at soft porn on his phone. Again. So, Matt from Mohawk.
I don't even know how to spell Belichick. Go ahead.
Something hub. The 2024 Celtics would beat the 1992 Dream Team. Also, I'd run through a brick wall for Joe Mazzulla, Matt from Mohawk. Based on that statement, again, not a question. It sounds like Matt from Mohawk has already run into a few walls.
He would run into a wall for Joe. There's a statement you don't hear very often.
Well, first
The
of all,
2024 Celtics would beat the 1992 Dream Team. Yeah, that is this the same Matt from Mohawk that we talked? Matt from
I think he's flirting with suspension.
Yeah, so he doesn't have one single question here. The first part of it is totally asinine,
Because he ran into a wall.
and the second part is explaining that he did run into a brick wall with Joe Mazzulla. You want to suspend him?
You know, I'm such a positive guy. I'm gonna just put him on double secret probation. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Double
secret probation.
But one more asinine comment like this, and he's gonna get
He's gonna get 2 weeks.
He's gonna get the Doug suspension.
He's on the Doug's. She got suspended twice, correct?
Yeah.
So
I'm sure she'll get.
he's on board. He's on the edge, so we got to really watch this. Hey, they've been dating for over a year. Jordan Hudson.
Really?
Why are we just finding out about this now? Belichick 72 and Hudson, a former cheerleader at Bridgewater State University. There you go. That's where I go to find cheerleaders. Bridgewater State.
Yeah, I got nothing on this. I said I like Bill Belichick. He basically can do whatever he wants.
Well, okay.
All right. You want to tackle Mr. Dirty Eddie?
Oh, Jesus.
Ed from Waukesha. He's been on a little bit of a
Tear?
well.
Bender?
Yeah, a bender is probably a good way to look at it.
All right. Oh, this is the first one. I am writing this email. This is directed to me. To express how disappointed I was in the sheer level of enthusiasm that you had for listen to the lyrics last week. While I think Southern Cross is an outstanding song, your speedy recording during your morning constitutional is something that's less than desirable, especially when it's recorded on your phone, your iPhone 3. He's too off.
It's not on the slider.
And while I'm at it, you referred to the song as being about a consolation, like what Crouch used to get during most of his sporting events. What? Consolation.
Participation ribbon. Yeah, I don't know.
I said constellation. Please be better and put more thought and dedication into LTL. And if you don't have a good one to share, solicit some of your fans, as I'm sure we have several. Well, that ain't never happening.
First of all, he said we. Is that when you say we, you're including yourself in the team?
Last week's choice was solid after all that. He is 100% correct. That was recorded on the phone.
Yeah, that was part of what had to happen because of me going to be traveling.
Yeah, and it was a Wednesday. I need more than a week to do this.
But
I need a week. These listen to lyric things don't just pop up.
Yeah.
I need a week. I go through different songs in my, as the week goes, and I had to come up with something, and it was recorded on my iPhone 5, by the way.
Not the slider. And I have recently found some technology that will help me to enhance that off the phone in future recordings.
And he says I said consolation, not constellation.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Eddie, anyway, we're not done with this guy yet.
Oh no, we got a little ways to go. So anybody that wants to shut this off right now is probably be a good time. But
Oj, can we get a replay of the L train sound? Woo woo. Not sure what that was. An audio clip would be great to share and revisit and get an explanation. That's what I got for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you do that? No, with the arm. That's semis. When you wanted semis, that.
No, choo-choo train.
Oh yeah, grabbing the.
Yeah, we're both shaking our arm in the air for those. Anyway.
You want to do the Crouchy one, or you want?
Okay, Crouchy. There's that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Is the problem with the Packers front office? Why the delay with this extension for Jordan Love? What do we need to see and do to feel that there's a chance that this deal doesn't get done before the season starts? I got no problem with them not signing him right now. I mean, he's still under his regular contract, I believe, right? Extended.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever they got to do. I can't see it not happening. I was a big, I had a lot of questions about Jordan Love last year. He was one that came on the podcast and proved me wrong at the end of the year. So
He certainly did. Well, they got to get it done at some point. I mean, the following year they could franchise him, I suppose, or something like that. But you don't want that to happen.
I'll give the front office the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Well, let's just say Eddie from Waukesha has never showed patience when it comes to sports. I mean, he's had the Brewer manager fired twice already this year.
Yeah,
he would have had Doc Rivers fired. The guy, he loses it like that when his teams aren't doing well.
Does he think it has because of the IPAs?
I think about 2 weeks ago he got a text or a message about, the Brewers are done. They're on a losing streak right now. Blah blah blah. Then they ended up going 14 or 15 games over 500. So the guy has a short fuse when it comes to that stuff. So I don't think we can get too worked up about it. Another one.
Oh boy.
Oj, there's a lot of talk about the potential of trading Willie Mays. I'm on the side of going all in, adding an extra arm and keeping Adamas all the way. This team is the closest. Now he's all happy about it. He wanted all of them gone and fired. This team is the closest we're going to get, in my opinion, even if it means that we get nothing back from him for him after this season. I think that trading Adamas would have a severe impact on the morale of the clubhouse, even though these guys are professionals and understand that it's their business. What are your thoughts? I am 100% on board with that. Totally agree with them 100%. You cannot trade Willie Adamas under any circumstances with what they got going right now. 5-game lead in the division. The guy is absolutely raking. He's batting cleanup for him. He's a clubhouse leader. He's you got to have him on the team. So if they lose him, they lose him. They got depth. We'll move that Rodriguez. Whoever they got in the trade with. I can't even think of him.
True.
Yeah, the trade they got from with Corbin Burns. He's playing third base now. Put him in at shortstop. We're good to go. But we got to get some arms. The starting pitching is the issue. So we got to keep Willie. Appreciate that question. Ed from Waukesha.
One more, hey?
He's not done?
Oh no. Go ahead.
All right. Guys, why do you consistently discuss the WNBA? And when I've asked you nicely not to. On top of that, I'm 1 week behind the pod, but that was your leading story in episode 62, right after the great news about Crouchy coaching for Tech. Congrats, by the way. No one cares about women's basketball. Then Oj proceeds to explain that he's watching video now of the WNBA to analyze the fouls. Might as well be fishing.
No, might as well watch fishing.
Might as well watch fishing. I know now is a slow time in sports, but come on. All your listeners deserve better than you two droning on about the WNBA. I know that neither of you are soccer fans, but I would ask that you add once per month a discussion about the English Premier Soccer League. Oh my goodness. Wonder how rough a Mohawk feels about that statement from Ed from Waukesha. Yeah, you know what I heard on the way down here? This is going to drive him nuts. They were putting a poll question on the sports radio show. Is Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark's rivalry the biggest in sports right now?
Like Bird and Magic?
Yeah, that's what they had. I just laughed as I'm coming up the hill, and I said, well, I can't even bring that up on this episode, but...
Hey, have you ever watched fishing on TV?
I have.
I have too. Fishing with Orlando Wilson used to be on TBS after a Braves game, or during a rain delay.
Babe Winkleman?
Babe Winkleman.
He was a quality fisherman, wasn't he?
Yeah. You know, I have a connection. If we want to get somebody on that's a professional fisherman, I have somebody in the family that we could...
You do? That might be a good pod interview.
We could do that. All right. Thank you, Ed from Waukesha. Is it Waukegan?
No, he's
Waukesha. He is. Hey. All right. Howdy, boys. Howdy, Paul. Will any of these baseball records ever be broken? Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak, Cal Ripken's 2,632 consecutive games played, Nolan Ryan's 5,714 career strikeouts, Ricky Henderson's 130 stolen bases in a season. Paul from Boise, I will start Oj. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game streak, never. Cal Ripken's streak, no chance. Nolan Ryan's career strikeouts, very, very unlikely. Ricky Henderson's stolen bases in a season, probably not. Maybe the most believable of all of them that some good hitting fast guy gets in there, especially with the new pitching rules and stuff. But yeah, I think the Ripken and the DiMaggio are, you can lock those away. Never, ever, ever, ever. Nolan Ryan's with pitch counts and concerns for arms, very doubtful. And Ricky Henderson's stolen bases, I don't think so.
That's the only one you could possibly think about, right? Some guy, but not only you got to be fast, but you got to get on freaking base.
Exactly.
So there's two things there, but yeah, I agree with you. This is on that Nolan Ryan strikeout deal. How about this? If a pitcher struck out, this kind of sums this up. We're talking about the strikeout. So if a pitcher struck out 250 batters for 22 straight years, Nolan Ryan would still have more strikeouts.
Yeah.
So that ain't getting touched either.
And you know, Cal Ripken, his streak, you'd have to play 17 years and play every single day.
Yeah.
Not happening.
How about this? There have been 3 Major League Baseball players named Aurelio. Remember Aurelio Lopez, senior smoke with the Tigers?
Oh, for sure.
All 3 of them died in car accidents.
Where does this come from?
I'm not telling you.
Why is that coming up when we're talking about great accomplishments and you're bringing up car crashes? We're talking about Richie Valens and the Big Bopper going down in a plane too?
I try to bring a little something different each week, and I hope people that listen enjoy that. A little bit of knowledge. Both Fielder boys ended their careers with 319 homers also. Cecil and Prince, that's cool.
That is kind of cool. That is cool. Very cool. So, yeah, some good questions, and then Eddie, thanks for playing. We'll give you a consolation prize. Located 8 miles south of Lake Linden on the Boojak Road, the Dreamland Restaurant is your choice for great dining. Family owned and operated for over 100 years. Whether you are in the mood for their Mexican Monday specials, burgers, pizza, or a Friday fish fry, Dreamland is your next stop. Now, listen to the lyrics, Oj.
Okay.
This is the part that Eddie has been questioning.
Well, he had a right to, and
He doesn't have a right to do anything.
He was correct in his assumption that I did the recording on the phone last week.
An iPhone 3.
Yeah, well, it was, like you said, he was 2 off. Anyway, Mao and Salello. I'm glad I don't have to read that one.
Yeah. Hey,
Listen
good
to
guys, man. Those are good guys.
I'm just saying. Listen to the lyrics is brought to you by Cuban Auto Body, located on Pine Street in Calumet. They are your choice for quality collision and body repair since 1966. They're open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday and 8 to 12 on Saturday. Give them a call at 906-337-1234 03.
As we dive into the blue notebook for Oj's Listen to the Lyrics.
Alright, so I've said this before that Listen to the Lyrics could be a three-way rotation for me between Townes Van Zandt, John Prine, and Guy Clark. Those guys are on my Mount Rushmore of singers and songwriters. So this week we're going to go back to a Townes Van Zandt song. And I'm going to read you a direct quote from Townes on how he came to write what is probably his most romantic love song. So, this, and you can believe him or not, and you know, obviously Townes, if it was reported that he was drinking, he probably was. Townes says that this song came to me in a dream. I was living in Tennessee with Guy and Susanna Clark. I was asleep, had a notepad by my mattress. I had a mattress on the floor. I was dreaming that I was a folk singer, and that this song was the one I played. So I woke up, wrote it down, went right back to sleep. Next morning I woke up, went to the room, grabbed a guitar, and played it through, and it has never changed. So essentially he's saying he wrote this song in his head in a dream while he was sleeping. Believe it or not. So anyway, enjoy If I Needed You by Townes Van Zandt, and by the way, Loop and Lil are parakeets.
Crouchy Oj, 64 in the books. What do you got going this week here? Kind of hitting our stride with summer vacation. I know my trips and traveling are pretty much done. What do you got on tap this week?
Not a lot. We get in July, things start picking up. I know. I think we're going to head to Boot Jack and do a little work for Jen's father in the meat shop later on in the week. That's on board. Other than that, I don't know.
We do got some interviews lined up for Crouchy's Corner here, with some good people. We got probably in the next week or two we'll have probably 4 or 5 of them done, I'm guessing.
Yeah, hopefully it works out. We're going to try to get out of town a little bit and get some of these done, but you know, being able to pull it off, which I just got a text now, doesn't look like the one we had planned will work out this week, but we'll figure something out, and if we don't, whatever, we'll move on.
Yeah, we always survive in advance, but July 20th?
July 20th is the listener appreciation party out at the Dreamland restaurant. Should be a blast, and hopefully it's not just you and I sitting there staring at each other.
Yeah, that'll be true. I'm sure we'll have our tens of fans out in full force there. Other than that, listen, make sure you guys are liking our stuff on the social media. We're trying to do some stuff with that, and other than that, that's all I got for you, Oj.
Sounds good.
See you, Oj.
Talk to you later, Crouchy.